So tonight not only going to talk a little bit of Python at the end, but we're going to focus on some Linux commands, and then I want to tell you about a contest for those folks who had this in the fall, and honestly, you can join up with somebody else that was in the class and get a DVD and enter in it. So I'll show you in a minute. But want to begin by asking everyone, how many people have their Pi hooked up so it can hook up to the internet? It can access the internet. Raise your hand if you can get your Raspberry Pi to get to the internet. Okay. Hopefully we'll get some more. How many people, all right, how many people have wireless to the internet? How many people can take a cable, hook it up to the internet, therefore they could be on the internet, but right now they can't because they can't be by their other computer? Okay. All right, so that brought in. Everybody put your hands down. How many would be interested if I ordered some wireless, little wireless units for your Raspberry Pis? Would be interested in one. They're like $10 plus you'd need a power hub. Okay, I'll put the word out for everybody on it. But we got to get everybody hooking up on the net here. All right, I'm going to show you some commands. We'll have them for now. Down the road, you can have them. You can start so people can start using those commands. Little house cleaning to do here. We're going to have an open mic 9 to 10 on Wednesday. Please feel free to, if you got ever questions, something like, just come on in, listen then. Again, Raspberry Pi today. We're going to visit our friend Linux. All right. Now, this is sudo apt-get update. Now, let me show you something I have here. Let me go ahead and get that out of here. So I research my stuff. Okay, let me see if I can find my Raspberry Pi stuff. Hang on, bear with me 1 second. You gotta be kidding me. I had it. What happened to it? What I'm going to do is, I'm not sure what happened to my viewer, but we're going to pull this back up here. Says it didn't have it. Let's try connecting. I'm going to connect. This allows me to put my Raspberry Pi on my computer. So there I am. So actually I was downloading some different games on this thing. Alright, so there's my Raspberry Pi. It's pretty easy on an Apple. I will get a PC to show you how to do this. But if you look at the screen right now, you can see I purposely left this all out. This is all my Mac desktop. All right? Over here would be my Mac desktop. All right, now, with that in mind, let's go ahead and show you these commands. All right, so here's the first one. I just gave it. Sudo apt-get update. You run that every time before you copy files, delete files. You run that. It just updates it. It updates. Imagine like a library which says, okay, all the links are updated. So people who make different programs can keep that linked, and you know this will run. You know, you're going to find it. Mine is running right now. If you don't have wire internet, you can't do this, honestly. Well, that's running, so you just ran update get. The next thing we're going to do is sudo. Again, sudo is a super user. Sudo says, hey, install this program I'm about to install on everybody that's going to use this computer. From the very start of Linux, it's always been Linux computers have been designed for multi-users, because it's from back in the day when you had a really expensive computer, not one person could use it. You'd want everybody to use it. Well, that's what this is from. Okay, so you got to use sudo. First one we just did was apt-get update. The next one was sudo apt cache search. It helps you search by keyword. All right, I've got a question. There we go. Finally, my connection is kind of sketchy. I totally understand. All right, I'm glad everybody's on. All right. All right. So with that, let's go back over here. It's still uncatching there. We'll give that a second. Fortunately, you know, it's kind of wild is I just ran this a little bit a while ago, but it checks everyone every time you run it. While this is running, another quick survey. How many people have finished the Hangman game? Okay, folks. How many people finished the Hangman game? Still a pretty good turnout of people who have. But well, honestly, we only got half of us. Folks, got to get those done. It's going to slow us down to do the things we need to do. All right. Now, there is... All right, so I did sudo apt-get update. I'm putting everybody's hands down. Folks who want to run their Raspberry Pi right now and do this, make sure you're firing it up so you can go ahead and get a shot at this. That way you can find out if there's a mistake. Or if so let's do sudo apt-cache search. What that will do, command I don't really been using as much. Click on that. Come in. I'm going to search by what I'm looking for here. And there's a program out there. There's a screen capture program, but I could do screen capture. Let's see if we can get it. I'm looking for screen, not scream. And list them, and we can put down lines to stop so it doesn't all fire past you. Let's do this. Sudo apt cache search. Or another way I could have done this. See, I have search. I can do this. -H. If I do a -H, it'll give me the help for doing searching. Source cache disable. Show only important. Okay. I mean, it'll give you all kinds of different things on there. I really wanted it more of a pause. So I'd have to look it up there. But you can tell H gives you help usually for finding it. And let's go ahead here. Let me see what P does. Okay. So let me do that. Let's go back up here a second. And the name of, I'm going to even specify a little bit closer so we get a little more scratch. So looking for it right now. And I found it. It's Scrot, command line screen capture utility, in case you can't read it. Alright? So, Scrot allows us to capture it, which is useful for down the road. If you got a problem, you'll be able to snap your screen, save it, go into Google Documents, upload it in there, and send it out in your regular email. If you don't already have an email there. So the way we install it is sudo apt get install Scrot. All right. So there we go. Now I just installed, so there it is installing it. It's already saying I got a new version, so we do have Scrot. But that's how you would go ahead. It would ask you, do you need disk space? You'd say yes, which this one didn't because I already just installed it, so it wouldn't do it. Okay? We could also do this. I'm going to use the up key search. I'm going to say calculator. There we go. Just look. That just gives a sense of all the different calculators are out there. You know. So, for example, let's try this Q calculate. I think we might even, so is it Q or Qualc? QALC. So let's try that. Sudo app get install the QALC. So looking for it. See if we got that. Reading stat information. That says, hey, how much you want to add? I'm going to say, it says like 4,000 kilobytes. Oh, okay. Yes. So there it is installing it. Every one of the SD cards you all are using takes me about an hour to install and get it all set. Because we tried copying them and they started failing on us, so I just basically hand install them each time. So as we're sitting here installing right now, all right, while that's installing, let's see what else you got over here. Let it come back here. I don't want to spend the whole time you staring at it installing. I don't think we get much out of that. All right, there's install. Not surprisingly, you've got remove in the software name. And then you can get upgrade. What upgrade does is take the newest version. It goes out and buy the most recent version, or a newer version, I should say. But you don't always want that. Update doesn't go to the version. It doesn't get you the newest version. It just simply updates your version. All right? Because there's times. Python's a perfect example. Some people really like 2.7 and they're not going to 3. All right. So here's some more commands. We keep adding some every time that I think you'll find useful once you get on the net. That's what we got to try to get moving towards. I did put on the internet on Edmodo at one time the piece of the wireless, and I put it on my, looking at it right now, wireless on my Raspberry Pi, and it works great. I can show you all how to set it up. It's not a big deal at all. All right, any questions about that? It's still, I think, installed. I just finished installing. Let's see how it runs. All right. I don't know if they put it in the library or not. I don't think so. Let's try. All right, let me see. Let me get the spelling that right. No, I do not want to. They want me to add exchange rates. Really, I don't care about that. Oh. Who knows? It failed. I probably pulled one that doesn't run, that runs on Debian but doesn't run on a Raspberry Pi, so it's a little hit or miss there. So, gives us a chance to do this. When I have lemons, I make lemonade. Okay, let me get this going. Let's make sure it's out of the command. I'm going to put it back up. I mean to do that. Whoops. Yeah, I clicked too much there. Alright, watch. Sudo apt get remove and QALC. Now let's give 200 kilobytes back. And it goes. That's all there is to removing it. Okay? And it's removing Quelk. Goodbye, Quelk. All right. Now, the next thing I wanted to show everybody. If you were in the class in the fall, we use Fly to Learn. If you're in the class you weren't in the fall, but you have friends from the fall class, you can join them. We have a competition on February 23rd. It doesn't take much to prepare. You design a plane to land and take off from one field into a grass field on the other side. It is the person with the best score. That is the person who delivers the most amount of supplies using the least amount of glass in the least amount of time wins. And your family or your coach, since many of us are homeschoolers here, your teacher is your parent. So your parent might score an iPad, and which I'm sure would give family use, which means an iPad for you. You get a nice plaque, and you've learned a lot about airplanes. Well, form a team. You just need 2 team members and a parent. Go to sign up, sign on up. It's totally free. Really just wanted you guys to see what it's out there about it. Let me go see if I can pull this up with it. All right, here it is. Pull it up here, please. All right. Get X-Plane 10. So here's the rules. Scores based on payload delivered to the grass strip divided by time and fuel during the air flight. The flight begins at Lowry, place that everybody who's ever done the class is done. It lands up in a place called Lake, L-A-I-K. You got to use a Van RV-10. You modify it. Person gets the best score of the combination of those two, wins it. Just send us a screenshot and the actual file of your airplane to me by February 23rd. I couldn't make it much easier. All right. Anybody interested in doing this, just so I get a survey? Well, think about it, folks. Great way to score a iPad. All right. Okay. Now, let's go on. Then we've got that. Well, let me just show you real quick here. One thing with that. Show a little bit more on this. It's loading up here. Bear with me one second. Well, I just crashed this airplane last time I was in here, so that's not really surprising. Here we go. Settings, quick flight setup. All right. There's a little LOIK. Final approach. This would be a practice shot. Whoa. All right. you're going to see it coming up here shortly. You're going to land in this field that's coming up right here in that airplane that you can modify pretty much whatever way you want. Except if I would learn how to fly it better, we'd be doing that much better. So right up ahead is the airstrip. If you've ever flown on, I don't know if any of you have flown, but landing on an airstrip definitely has got its challenges over just running over a nice asphalt, long asphalt runway. So you're coming in from this approach. See if I can land this. Okay, here we go. Mr. Dubik landing airstrip. We will see. I don't like. That's interesting. Come. Here's the problem. Like, it's very short. I'm still way too hot. I need to kill that engine, so I would not have made it. I would not have been a good landing. Let's take off out of those trees. All right, there we go. Anyways, that was not a very good landing, but you get the gist of it. We start off here, and the way you do this is you go back over to Lowy. If anybody's interested in this, just let me know. I'll get you to go to that airport. Go to this airport. Always hoping that plane is okay. All right, great. And then go to Special, Aviation Challenge, take off, it'll score you, and that's how you figure out what your score is. You probably just go forward. Let me go. I'm going down this way. Let me go ahead and turn off the brakes, pushing the throttle. There you go. Go real fast here. But what this does, up here you can see it'll tell you nose up and fly. If you start going too far to the left, just too far to the right, it'll guide you where you're going. Remember, just going to LAIK, that shot I showed you earlier will show you what it looks like. But if anybody wants to be involved with this, just let me know. Remember, the cost is completely free, not a huge investment in time. All right. Go ahead. Quit that. Okay. Let's go ahead and go over here. Okay, with the time we have. All right. Let's go ahead and go. So, Invent Your Own Computer Games with Python by Al Swigert. He's the guy that we're using this for. It's open source. I want to make sure he gets credit. All right. We've been doing Hangman. We've been talking about methods and functions. Today we're going to get into for loops and else-else statements and do what we need to do here. All right. Now, quick review on these concepts. All right. Multi-line strings. You got 3 quotation marks. You can do over several lines that way. If we put a variable in all caps, that means the variable is a constant. We're not going to change. We're not doing anything to change it in the program. Lists. Lists are collections. They're the equivalent of arrays, if you know that in other languages. The in operator does a truth check. You can tell if something's in it or not in it. If it's in it, it's true. If it's not in it, it's false. We'll try some of the stuff out down the road. Delete statement takes one of the members out of the list with that. And you can have list of lists or double lists. It's what we would call as a double array. All right, which is collection variables. Here we go. So, we've done this. Well, let's just do it real quick. If we could bear with me. Go ahead. Go into, I want everybody to go ahead and go into Python. All right, there's some syntax there I've had. That's classic. All right. Go down here. Let's go up here, actually, so you can see it. I'm going to move this over so you can see it. So when you try to use the delete thing, and not surprisingly, you're going to go fruit. I'm going to go fruit. Hopefully I can bring this up. Tell you what I'm going to do, folks. I'm going to get out of this and come back up so we can get a better. There we go. All right. So, if we had something like fruit, it's going to be our list. So it's going to fruit equals bracket, single quotation. I always want to do double quotations. Apple, comma. All right. And that's always a good sign. I'm just trying to make sure I see what I got down, what I wrote earlier today. All right. Oranges, comma. All right. And then I'm going to say peach. Bracket. Right. If I type fruit, you know, okay. Come back to in a second. I just did something dumb. All right. Okay. That should have been this. True. I didn't do the quotation mark in there. Sorry about that. Okay. So apple and fruit gives you true. If we said, we just mentioned this ago, string ag in fruit, false. It's not in those list of items there. I hope that all makes sense. You can also do something like this. You can say, and remember we're starting when we're saying something like this, so let's do fruit, bracket, 0, bracket. That tells me it's apple. So it starts at 0. I can do fruit, bracket, 2, bracket, peach. Even though it looks like 3, it is the third member, but the index starts at 0. 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. We're going to see how we'll use that, the looping, to do all kinds of really very cool things. All right? So if we want to delete something, we can do something like this. Delete, all right, fruit. And we're going to take out the second member, so it'd be index 1. Okay? Now if we do fruit again. All right, make sure everybody can do this. Make sure you've got that down, all right? Okay. Raise your hand if you're using Python right now and just practicing some of this stuff. All right, please get on a computer. Hey, Wyatt. Wyatt.
Yep.
Hey, think about that Fly to Learn challenge, all right? Since you enjoy designing airplanes.
I actually missed part of it because I got in a little bit late.
All right. We're getting February 23rd is the aviation challenge from Fly to Learn. You've got the disc. You know enough. What grade are you in? Are you a 9th or 10th grader if you were in a traditional school?
9th grade.
9th grade?
Yep.
Excellent. You can enter in that. It's free. It's not difficult to do, and you can score an iPad for the family. Your mom's got to be a coach. Partner up with somebody. You need 2 people. All right?
Okay.
All right. We've got a question here. Looking for questions here. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, Lee's telling me he can't raise his hand, but he is. Okay, good. I hope everybody else is doing the same thing. Let's practice this while we're here. The more you do this, the more it makes sense, and you don't have to think about it so much when you're trying to get it done. Okay. Now, we can do things like, right? We can do, let's try this. Oh, I don't always want to do that. See how I get happy birthday? All right, this is a string. Do you remember what this is? Right? This is a list. What is this called? Somebody, please. Raise your hand if you know what this is called. Is it a function or is it a method? All right, Justin. All right, Justin, what is it, man? Justin?
It's a method, isn't it?
Yep, you're correct. Good job. All right, so that's a method. So, what punctuation attaches an object to its method? You just saw this. Hopefully you kind of know what that is. Somebody, who else has got a hand raised here? Wait a minute here. Hang on. Micah, what's
A period.
Good job. Period is correct. All right. What will helloteam.lower.opera do? Let's all do that real quick because that may or may not be obvious to you. But what does helloteam.lower.opera do? Please go into. So I'll pull this up here. So if we do this, all right. So we got hello team. I almost did it. If it doesn't turn the right color, it probably means you did something I did. Oh, see, build and method, use of upper lower. Let's try it again now. Let's see what we did. I think you guys are going to know right now what I did, but command come. Because of that last function, that's what it's going to do. All right? Because that came last, changed all the lower and then the upper. A lot of password programs you write, you're going to want to make sure when you get an input from somebody that it's all upper or lower if you're checking or checking for answers on a test or things like that. All right. Did you use the reverse method with their strings or list? Do you use the reverse method with strings or list? So do you do this? I'm just going to keep putting double quotations on my not, huh? Well, let's see if that works. All right, let's try that. Uh-oh, that didn't work so well. And you know what the other tip is? when I do this, come up with this period. All right, let's see if reverse shows up. There we go. Let's go down here. Guess what? It's not there. Split's there, but I don't see any reverse. Now let's do this. Let's go back to our friend Mr. Fruit there. Fruit. Period. Oops. Be nice if I never learned how to type. Oh, look at this. Why, it's reverse. Okay. Okay. Now, don't press enter next time, Tom, and it might work a little bit better. So here we go. Fruit. Dot reverse. When you start typing, you just want it to type, you know. There you are. So if you do fruit now, it'll be just the opposite of what it was. And there's apples and peaches. And we can do fruit. All right, and we'll do something else in a minute. How do you add items to a list? How do we add items to a list? Besides Justin, Micah, let's get somebody else in here. You're tired of carrying your weight. No, that's not true, but it sounded good, didn't it? Okay. All right, let me see here. Let's see my man Lee here. Lee. Hey, Lee. Lee.
Hello.
All right.
Would you do it with commas?
You do it with what?
You would do it with commas.
Nah, no, we're adding an item on a list. What is the method for doing that? You might want to append your answer. You might want to add on to your answer. You might want to expand your answer or append your answer.
Well.
Nothing wrong with appending your answer. Okay. Let me try someone else here. All right, you're gonna, you know this, Lee. You know that one, man. I'm just telling you, Jonathan. What's the method, man?
Append.
There we go. There you go, Lee. All right. Good job, Jonathan. All right. So here we go. So how do you append an item? Well, let's go back down to the fruit. Sorry, I was kind of getting closer to the bottom of the screen. Let's go up here a little bit. Maybe we can get it. All right. So we can do something like this. Fruit. Now we got to put something in there. Let's put in there cherry. Oh, because your teacher refuses to use a single quote, it looks like. Sorry, guys. That kind of stuff always. I should know them. See how it always goes gray when you're doing it right? There you are. And if I go ahead and type fruit, and honestly, I should be able to do index, I think 2. This will be the third member. Whoops. There it is, cherry. It's the third member because they start 0, 1, 2. All right, let's keep it rolling. Does the split method split a list into a string or a string into a list? Do we have anybody who wants to step up? Anyone dare try it again? All right, let's go, Michael, the man, the legend, the myth. What is that? Myth, the legend, the man. Hang on, what's that? Oh, no. This is not what we want to have happen in here. All right, also my mouse jumped away. Yes, Micah.
It splits a string into a list.
Very good. That's exactly right. String into a list. All right, excellent. Hey, by the way, how many people have heard about King talking about splitting him? I guess it's a very bad pun, I suppose. But did anybody can tell me, just for extra credit, see how well read you are? Listen, can anybody tell me about King Richard III and what they discovered today? Anybody know? Is it Micah again that knows this? Come on, someone else. I'll give you a second here. You're going to answer it if no one else does. Anybody know what they discovered today? King Richard III. Last king before the Tudors. Last British king to be killed in battle. Yes, Micah.
They found his skeleton under a parking lot.
Yep. It used to be a church. They buried him when it was a church. That became a parking lot. Good job. Well done. And he did, back in the day when they fought with swords and that whole 9 yards, suffered a grievous injury, as they say. Okay. Now, here's something. You got a list. What input did I give the following two range functions? So you got list, range, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the second one, you have list, range, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20. Just real quick. Oh, someone said a question here. Let's see who that was. What do you think about that? Creepy. Yeah, someone said creepy. A little bit. But they used 3D and maybe did a skull, and you see him as a real person. And that's what's wild. It's like he stepped back in time. All right. Anyways, he has his issues. We have ours. So let's work on our thing. So you've got this list. You've got this range. So if I go over here and do a list, right? List. You know, let me see. What do I have? Do I have a list up here? We'll just do it this way. List equals bracket 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, this is one way to do it. I'm just giving you 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? So that's one way to do it. You hit bracket. Okay? So that's one way. Here we go. And if I type list, guess what I get? Not too surprisingly. I could do it this way too, though. Okay? I could do something like this. List. Sorry, guys. My phone keeps running off there. I could do something like this. List. Whoops. Range. That was not good. All right. Parentheses. This would do the same thing. I just do one member. We're going to call this list 2, actually, before I type that in, or we're going to have a problem here. But another parentheses, your parentheses almost always have to add up. Same number on the left as name on the right. So there we go. Let's go here. And we just blew that one. What did I do here? List 2. Oh, let's go here. Let's do it this way. Let's just stay with the first list just for time's sake. List. Range. Okay. 5. All right, parentheses. All right, get there. What am I doing wrong here? My kingdom for, speaking of Shakespeare, my kingdom for the reason why my code suddenly is acting weird. List. Let's try this again. There it is. If I do list, I can do this. Get that out of the way there. All right. Type list object is not callable. What am I doing wrong here, folks? Someone make a suggestion for me because I'm drawing a blank. I've been doing this twice earlier today and everything's been working fine. Okay. Let's try this. Just making this up. Chapel Hill. Think I know what I did wrong. Yep, I can tell you right now what I did wrong. I'm not catching a break tonight. What am I doing wrong there? Let's try this again. See, that's not. What did I do wrong? Print value. Okay. In this case, I want to say well, folks, I'll come back to that after I figure out. I'm sure once I hang up here, I'm doing just something dumb. I'll come back to it in a minute. That will tell us the number of members in this fruit. Let's go on to the next thing when I blow it. Range list. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong there. All right. Methods. It was a method. I'm not sure. All right. Let's talk about loops. And loops designed for lists of values. You got a variable name and a sequence or range objects. So I can do for I, range 10, print I. So let's play with some more range things because we've both all seen how well that's going for me. All right, let's go ahead and try it. All right, let me just get this so I can see it while I'm doing it. Wow, like this. All right. So, for example, all right, for I in range 10, then you're going to need a colon. That's something that's a little bit weird on, or not used to in Python. We don't do a lot of colons, that kind of thing. Okay, then we're going to print I. All right, and there it is. It prints it out. Wow, I'm finally getting range working again. I'm not sure what I was. So, do you see that? It printed it all out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this is in what's called an iteration. So for I in range 10, So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because remember, it always starts at 0. All right. Got some more questions. Everybody's telling me I wasn't putting the quotes in Chapel Hill properly. That's classic. Oh, well, let me see. Look over there. Look what I was doing wrong. All right. No, I wouldn't say it should be literal right there. I don't know. We'll get to it in a minute. I just got to step back for a second. All right, so that's a way to go through a whole range of different things. So you can imagine a method where we're in there going looping through those. So you could do something. Let's give you an example. Wait a minute. So that's each time. Well, let's pull this up so you can look at it. So what do you think will happen? We just saw what will happen. You can do things like this. For thing in this list, print, I really like thing. And then it'll print all the way down. For I in hello world, you can do that. Print I, and it'll go all the way down. Which is kind of amazing to me. And in Python, I was surprised when I saw this the first time ever. So let me make sure I'm getting this right. For I in I'm just going to do that every time. That's the only bad thing of knowing a lot of different languages. Being exposed to them. I'm just combining them at times. And then let's do print. Move this up here. Good sign. It's all looking like it belongs. There it is. Hello world. And there are ways to make it run horizontal, but that gives you a sense of that. All right. We'll get to slicing and dicing. It's 9 o'clock now. We'll just leave slicing and dicing until we get back Wednesday. Wednesday, we're going to go through this whole thing. We're going to go walk all the way through the Hangman's program. I'm going to put up a little challenge for you later tonight. So if we'll look at it tomorrow and work on it, just a very simple program, something just make sure we're following with this, okay? Is there any other quick questions? Go down here to the questions. All right. Well, if there's no other questions on that, let's go ahead, make sure we're getting the other program done. If you're already done, you obviously start changing Hangman around. Get on there and start seeing if you can download a file and get it to run. If you go to Magpie, the Raspberry Pi magazine, they'll list, their third issue has a list of all the different programs. I'll go ahead and put the Magpie out there and make sure you all can get to it. All right. You all have yourselves a great night. I'll talk to you later. Wednesday night's open mic night, 9 to 10.